Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be doing January in my reading journal today. I've got some things here that I printed and pulled out that I think match the kind of vibe that I'm going for today. My thought process was, because it's January, I wanted to do something wintry, something blue, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just like a January decorative kind of spread on this side. This side's going to be decorative as well, but it is going to have pictures of the book covers for what I read during the month of January. So again, I'm wanting to do like a scrapbook style kind of thing in here. So everything's going to be very layered. And I think what I'm actually going to do first is I ripped out a couple of pages from this old Wheel of Time book that I used in some of the other spreads and things like that. I just ripped a few. I ripped them in half because I was kind of thinking I would do like a border with them, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like make a background on this side out of it. And so I'm going to kind of rip these even more so that they're more just random shapes and things like that. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I've got this stuff ripped up. I've got this glue stick that's just about dried out. Actually, I think I'm gonna get the boys to grab me another one. Okay, so I got a new glue stick. I'm just gonna go in and just kind of do this in sections. I'm gonna get it really good on there. And I want it to hang off a little bit, and I'll go back and trim it because, like I said, I want it to be very like randomly placed. Okay, well, I can't find my X-Acto knife, so I'm gonna have to kind of try to get in here with scissors. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't care if it hangs off the page a little bit. I actually kind of like that look. It makes it just look more like a scrapbook or a journal or something like that, when it's just you know, got so much stuff in it that it's coming out. So now I'm just kind of going back and making sure everything is pretty secure. I will be putting some stuff down on this, so that will help. Okay. So next up, I think that I want to put this this unicorn. This was in a romantasy coloring book that my mom got me for Christmas or my birthday I think. And I worked on this while I was listening to an audiobook. So I am going to tape that in there. I'm not going to get all the way to the edge, especially on the hair, because I don't care if it kind of folds up and moves around and stuff. Because I want it to kind of look like it's coming off of the page there. All right, next up, I'm going to put my January header. And what I did was I found these month stickers at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to use these every month. Hopefully I don't lose it before the end of the year. This way the month headers will kind of be consistent, and I don't know, I just feel like it will help the journal feel more put together. So I'm going to put this on here. This is just a piece of colored cardstock that I ripped into like a rectangle shape. All right, then I'm going to glue that down. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to leave this like it is for just a moment, and I'm going to focus on this side. I'm keeping all of these little scraps just in case I want to come back in and do something on this side to kind of make it cohesive. But I am going to put this map as kind of like the background because it does have like the bluish color, and it's kind of detailed enough to where it looks like it's something stuck in here, but it's not so busy that the books that I read won't, you know, it won't blend in to the background. So first I'm going to tape this down. This is just a piece of scrapbook paper out of a little scrapbook paper set thing. So I'm going to put that there, and then I found some of this handmade paper at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, there's the sticker. And I liked the texture on it, and I thought it would look really nice with some like watercolor paint done on it. And so I decided to paint some mountains. I'm going to put that down here at the bottom. And I could leave it kind of open to where it made like a pocket, but I don't really have anything. Oh yeah, I could put my campaign down into there and make that a pocket. I'm going to do that. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to tape down around the side and the bottom. I'm going to put a good little bit there. And I may have to come back later with a little bit of hot glue. It just kind of depends. Sometimes the adhesive doesn't stick the best. This is like a cheap brand. I grabbed this at Hobby Lobby too. I prefer the Tombow usually, but they just didn't have it, and I was at Hobby Lobby and I didn't feel like going to a separate store to go to Michael's. But anyways, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go down the bottom. I get a really good layer down there. It's kind of trying to fill the paper up there. Here, let me try this way. There's one thing that I'm noticing about this is that it's not wanting to go on there without peeling off of the thing. So like I said, I may want to go back with a hot glue gun. Now this I can tape together where the two kind of mountain ranges meet. I can tape that together and then put that on the bottom, and then I'm actually going to tape here, and I'm going to put washi on the side, so that's okay. So that makes like a little pocket there. I like that. Okay, next up I have some of this washi tape that Alana sent me for, I don't know, birthday, Christmas, Halloween, something. I don't know. We're constantly sending each other things, so I lose track. But I want to say it was my birthday. But anyways, we're going to put this down along the sides. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. I'm gonna I'm gonna trim this up a little bit. Like I said, I don't mind the pieces kind of hanging off the side a little bit, so I'm not gonna worry too much with it. All right, there we go. And up here. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same thing down the other side. There we go. Okay, so now I need to do something along the top. I don't want to do the washi again, so I may come back in and do something like this, or do I want to do the plain washi? I don't know. I'll think about that a little bit more. I also grabbed this castle picture. I printed it from Canva. To go in like a freaking surgeon. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna stick that onto my mountain range. That will also help it to stay together right there. Although now I do wish that I had brightened it up a little bit because it kind of blends into the mountain, but that's okay. What else do I have? Okay, I need something across the top. That doesn't really match like I thought it would. It does kind of on this side because of all the blues, but it doesn't on this side. And I could just do... Okay, I think that might be what I do actually. Okay. Something like that, maybe. I kind of want it to be more like that. Oh no, I didn't want to peel the seal off. There. So okay, that'll work. That this paper. This kind of goes with the vibe, but let's see. I actually layer it like that. Okay. Okay, there we go. Something like that. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure about this piece. I could have done more of that or something like this. It'll be okay. All right. So next I'm gonna go ahead and put my books that I read in January. Okay. I am gonna go ahead and grab my January campaign, and then that will just sit right in there, and it just kind of cover up the pictures, but that's okay because this is meant to be removable. All right, so I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more decoration. I grabbed some of these little frames because I thought that they were pretty cool, and then I thought that I could do something like this. I was gonna put one over here, but I don't think it will fit now, but I could kind of overlap them a little bit like this. Actually, yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so I just put a piece of scrapbook paper like behind it. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. Let's see. Okay, so try to do a little collage kind of thing there. Okay, on this other side, I kind of think I might just want to do the castle there. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't know. Let me see. I grabbed this because it was blue and matched the vibe, but I don't know. I guess I could put like a knight or something down there. Let's see. Okay, this is Cora Korea Crafts, by the way. These stickers are just some that Alana sent me. I'm pretty sure they were in one of those like Amazon bundles or whatever that had like multiple seasons in it or something like that. And she sent me the blue ones. But yeah, I think that might be good. I'm kind of thinking of putting a sticker here just to hold this down. They're a little tall for that space though. This is more from the Cora Korea Crafts. That one's from Amazon though. Little dragon sticker. I think I'm gonna do this one. Okay, I think that's it now that I've thoroughly made a mess of my desk. Okay, so I think that is it. So there we go. There's my January kind of separator page spread. So let's look at my individual book spreads in here. So for this month, I did do one per book because I had so many that I knew like I wanted to kind of get creative with. But moving on, there will be times that I want to kind of double up some books just because I don't want to run out of room in here, and then also because there are going to be some things that I don't want to do entire spreads on. So but anyways, so here's what I've got so far. Don't look at the words too closely if you don't want some spoilers. Not everything has spoilers, but some stuff does. So look at the decoration. You might not necessarily want to look at my actual like journaling about the book. So I, again, wanted it to look scrapbooky. I wanted it to look like little pieces of like ephemera, almost, if I could, like pieces from the story. And so this is what I came up with. So I just copied my original dust jacket for The Eye of the World. It ended up being a little bit bigger than what I intended. I originally did it and it was a little bit too small, so then I read it and it was too big, and I was like, well, I don't want to waste any more paper. So I cut out what I had. I ripped Loyal out of the paperback that I had. I grabbed the Wheel of Time symbol. This sticker I had kind of reminded me of the Green Man, so I put that on there. And then just like a castle, because they do go to so many places, and, you know, a bunch of village boys from, you know, a tiny little village going to all of these new places. They were always like fascinated by like the castles and things like that. I have Moraine's stone here that I cut out of one of my sticker books. And really this one was just kind of like my thoughts about the book. I didn't really put anything with the plot. I did put one of the quotes that stuck out to me: "Death is lighter than a feather, duty heavier than a mountain." I did put that in there. Next up was One Dark Window. That was our January book club book. This sticker that I had from I think it was a new sticker book that I found. My husband bought this for me when we went out for Valentine's Day. He got me like a little heat gun to get the stickers off of my books without ruining them. And then also, yeah, it came from right there. I also grabbed this sticker book. I actually really like this, and I think this is going to show up in my reading journal a lot because it is forest. It's just all kinds of stuff that's like totally my vibe, like cottagecore, forest, fairy, all kinds of stuff. There's even like coloring pages in here. There's mazes and puzzles, and there's these little like poems and things in here. So over the years, I'm sure this book is definitely going to end up deconstructed and put into my reading journal in lots of ways. Anyways, so I have this one set of scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's that had these like cards in it. So I cut some of the cards out, and I kind of, because cards are important in the story, and when I did it, I was like, oh, I can make a little pocket here. And I was like, well, I don't really need a pocket. But then I was like, what if I actually like find the actual like cards from the book and print those? Then I could slide those in there. I haven't done that yet, but I will. And then next up, When the Moon Hatched, I kind of wanted to go with that like color scheme from the book. So you have a lot of like the turquoise teal kind of colors in here. And then all of the little like artwork pieces in the book were just like Renaissance, fairy tale, ethereal kind of vibes. And so I put that. And then on here, my quote for When the Moon Hatched was, "Broken things make the sharpest weapons." And I haven't done my things for these yet. I could go back and do them. I need to print a few more. So I use the Sprocket to print my book covers. You can only do 4 at a time because it's like one piece of picture paper. And I like the ability to print them like this. It probably would be easier if I just found all my covers, put them onto a page, and printed them onto sticker paper. But I like the thickness of this. I like the glossiness. And it is convenient that it is like sticker backed. And so once I do find it and print it, I just, you know, peel it off and stick it. And I don't have to worry about sizing. It will automatically make it this size because of the app that, you know, you use with the Sprocket. So I think I'm going to continue using that for now. I am going to end up needing to buy some more of the picture paper for these. But like I said, I think just to keep it the size consistent, I will do that. The only issue is last year in my reading journal, I ran into this, is that you have to leave enough room. So like here are the spaces that I left for book club, and you can see that I'm like cutting it close right there. This one's it's definitely going to go over this, which is not a big deal. But when I set it up, I was originally thinking that I would do like smaller things, because like here, that's going to end up being too big. So I'm going to have to like put those somewhere else, and maybe further down onto the map or something like that. I just have to make sure that I can still fold it up. But I don't know. I guess I could just in these smaller spaces go back and do smaller things. But anyways, moving on. Where was I? Okay, and then I have Skyward. I did the same thing with like the cover, and I just printed Spencer off the cover. The scaling here ended up weird. I did print a Doomslug, and like I said, like I use the HP Instant ink, and so I have like a certain amount of pages, and I like never go over my pages or anything like that, but it just does make me a little bit more conscious about wasting paper. And then of course I feel like we should just all be more careful about our waste and the amount that we are contributing to, you know, the trash that we have on our planet. I did print the Doomslug, and I put it here. These two are just things that I got off of Canva, and I thought that this kind of reminded me of when Spencer was in her helmet, and then of course like being in flight school, and spaceships were very important for that. And then finally, my last one was Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. And I actually, a few years ago, had a Nightmare Before Christmas Happy Planner that I was using like as my teacher planner. And so I had, this is actually one of the dividers out of that I cut and put here. And then I had the sticker book that went with it, and that's where I got all of that. So over here, I'm going to do a spread for my book bachelor challenge, and that's how I'm going to use up this like odd page, so that next time we do a reading journal video together, we can do the February spread here. And then I'll show you this as well. So that is it. Like I said, I kind of wanted to have something that was more in this like scrapbook style that let me kind of be creative to the amount that I want to be creative. As you can see, I'm still kind of throwing in those interactive pieces. If this is something that you like, definitely check out any of my 2025 reading journal videos, because I had a lot, especially towards the beginning of the year, I had a lot of these like interactive style pieces, just to keep that pressure off of myself, because then it became, well, what am I going to do that's interactive in this spread? And I had just so much going on that it became overwhelming, and I got in my own head. So if I just say that, you know, I'm going to do this scrapbook thing, and if there's something, you know, fun or interactive that I can think of that goes along with that spread, then I'll do it. So that is it for today's video. Hopefully we will be together again soon to set February up, but maybe I should go ahead and wait until I finish my books for February. That way I can do my February book pages as well. I'll have to decide if I want to do like a setup and then like a flip through video later in the month, where, you know, we set it up at the beginning of the month together, and then we do a flip through of like these type of spreads later, or if I want to wait until the end of the month and do it all at the same time. You guys tell me what you would like to see, and we'll go from there. So anyways, that is it for this video. Hopefully I will see you in another one soon. Bye guys.